Welcome to Character Matters. In this show, we're going to talk about why do we make the choices we make? Why do we bother to be good? BusinessDictionary.com says that values have major influence on a person's behavior and attitude. Values serve as broad guidelines in situations as important and lasting beliefs or ideals shared by members of a culture about what's good or bad and what's undesirable or desirable. Why do we choose to be good? You never know who will show up to tell us. Oh, Father, I did do that. I'm sorry. I did cut down the cherry tree. I cannot tell a lie. So when we think of character traits and values that we think are important in our society, honesty is really important. Honesty is the best policy. And honesty is one of the character traits we're going to talk about in our ongoing series, Character Matters, because we think it's important. We hope you think it's important too. Honestly. Hi, I'm here with Peter and Wayne Mezet of Weston Nurseries. And when we think about character, one of the character traits we admire most is honesty. So I thought of Peter and Wayne because I used to work here and I know them from town. And they're very gracious to explain a little bit about their philosophy on business in terms of honesty, and I think it's very natural for them. Any influences they had from their youth or childhood or mentors they may have had along the way. And I really appreciate their taking the time. We'll start with Peter Mezet. Hi.
Okay, hi, how are you?
Great. Thanks for taking the time. And can you tell the folks at home a little bit about how honesty fills your life?
Honesty is a way of life, I guess, in our family. We have, I've had an upbringing which stressed honesty and integrity, both with my father and my mother, and the way they raised us. And I guess you could say it spilled over a lot into the business as well. We grew everything. We were a farm essentially, and you learn about hard work at a young age, and you have to be around other people. When I grew up, I worked in the fields at Weston Nurseries, and being around other people, I was driven to work hard and put on an honest day's work, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of in my culture. When it comes to the business today, I still carry that and I lead the business that way, and I want to hire people who want to work hard. When it comes to interacting with customers, we want to do the right thing. We've been in business now for 93 years.
Great.
So you don't stay in business in 4 generations. You don't stay in business that long unless you're telling people the right thing, the honest thing. So we will absolutely look at the long term as we interact with customers rather than the quick sale. It's just not the way we want to be.
Great. Thank you. That's perfect. And Wayne, thank you for...
Well, thank you for the opportunity. We long-term thinking really guides our lives. Our business, as Peter points out, goes from generation to generation, with him being the 4th generation, which is a remarkable achievement. So when we make decisions and when we do our day-to-day activities, we're looking at the consequences, the implications for what's going to happen down the line, down the road, years from now. And our business really reflects that, because what we're looking to do is something that people can be proud of. There's something that's going to be part of their lives and give them enjoyment going forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, Bob.
Good morning, Mike.
Thank you for taking a few minutes to talk with us.
Oh, no problem.
We were hoping you could give us your thoughts on honesty, because all the years I've known you and I've come in with my car and I've said there's something wrong, I don't know what it is, you've been able to tell me and be very honest about, here's what I think you could do, you probably don't have to do this, this is what it'll cost you. So I always felt really comfortable coming in, totally trusting that you would take care of me and my car in an amazing, wonderful, honest way. So our question is, what is your philosophy about honesty in business, and how did you come by that? Is that something your parents taught you or some mentor in your past?
Well, I suppose it was instilled in me in my early years, but I never really gave it much thought. So I'm going to have to say that, yeah, my parents had a lot to do with it. But I've learned through the years that if you're straight with people, they tend to appreciate it and understand it. They might not know what you're talking about as far as car repairs are concerned, but I have a bad habit of going over exactly what I'm doing, whether they understand it or not. Yeah. But I generally, just as far as automotive repair is concerned, I try to be try to save money if I can.
Yes.
That's not always the case, but that's what I try to do, and I feel that it's worked out well. I'm not making millions of dollars, but still, I have a conscience, and I can live with that.
Well, we really appreciate that. We appreciate you. And that's why I'm here today, because Bob has always been honest with me, and honesty matters. Thanks, Bob.
Okay, very good.
Hi, we're back and we're talking to kids about honesty. These are 4 of the most wonderful kids I can think of. Well, they're all wonderful, but I just grabbed these 4 on their way to school. Thank you, guys. Thank you, moms. I just want to ask them, what did they learn about honesty growing up, and why are they honest? So what's good about being honest? Katie?
My mom used to always tell me honest is always the best, and I'm honest because it makes for a better life and better friendships.
Awesome. This is Charlotte.
My mom and teachers and friends told me that honesty is the best policy, because if you're not honest, it's just going to be even worse, like lying. And honesty helps because for friendships and friendships.
Hey, here's Sam. He's going to tell us why it's good to be honest.
It's good to be honest because you won't lie and you'll make more friends.
Great. Thanks, Sam. And tell me, Cooper. Yeah, here's Cooper.
Honesty is the best policy because my teachers and my mom taught me if you are honest, then you'll have friends.
Awesome. Well, these guys have a lot of friends, and they are some of the best kids I know. So thank you so much for your thoughts on honesty, guys. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Good morning. Here we are with Paul Kavanaugh, who is a Hopkinton resident and a wonderful example of honesty, in my opinion. I have coached soccer with Paul. I know his children, and I really think Paul would give us some insights into why he lives an honest life, why he does business honestly, and where he got that idea. Is that from his childhood? Did his mom tell him that? Is it a coach or a mentor in his past? Thanks for giving us some time, Paul. What are your thoughts on honesty?
Well, thank you, Margie. Of course, it's very important as you lead your life to make sure you're honest and straightforward with other people. And that's because you need to build trust in any interpersonal relationships that you have. And in order to function within society, for us to trust one another, that's how we grease the wheels and keep things moving. I developed my own sense of honesty from my parents, from my church, and also in my profession. I'm an attorney, and I have to have trust and faith in my fellow attorneys. I have to have trust and faith in my clients and in the people that I'm dealing with every day in order for the legal system I work in to function.
Great! That's exactly what we were hoping you would say. Hey, Ready Freddy, you know what I saw the other day? What'd you see? I saw a woman go back into CVS with $1 in her hand, and she said, "Sorry, Mr. Cashier, but you paid me $1 extra in return." So she gave the $1 back. Are you kidding me? She didn't keep that $1 and use it for herself? No, she was being honest. That's so cool. What? As first president of the United States, I have to tell you that honesty was one of the things people voted for me based on. If I didn't have good character, they would not have picked me as president. Another president who represents honesty to me is Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was our 39th president from 1977 to 1981. Jimmy Carter started something called the Carter Center, and on December 10th of 2002, he won the Nobel Peace Prize for his work and continuing effort to find peaceful solutions to international conflicts, to advance democracy and human rights, and to promote the economic and social development. His words on his acceptance speech were, "To be true to ourselves, we must be true to others." People will be our friends if we're honest. If they don't know what we're talking about, or if we're really telling them the truth, they're not going to be our friends. Honestly. So why do we bother to have good character traits? Why does character matter? As we can see from the different segments in today's show, we can gain something of value when we make the choice to be honest. George Washington didn't have to tell his dad that he cut down the cherry tree, but he didn't feel right when he knew that his dad was mad about it. He gained his dad's respect when he was honest. He was a gainer. We all know what the opposite of gainer is. If he hadn't told his dad might not have found out, but then he himself, George, would have felt bad, and he didn't feel comfortable with that. When he did tell his dad, he felt good. He knew that he did the right thing and would take any consequence of his actions. He was taking responsibility for what he did, and that made him feel good. What do you think his dad did? Was his dad proud or mad? Probably a little of both. But in the end, he was probably proud that his son realized his mistake and chose to do the right thing. He probably gave his son more responsibility and privileges because he knew he could trust his son to do the right thing. George gained the respect and trust of his dad. Eventually, he gained the respect and trust of the United States and was elected as our first president. I would say being honest was good for George Washington. Peter and Wayne Mezett and their family have been in business, providing the same high level of service with the same family philosophy of honesty with customers, workers, and vendors who sell them the plants and goods and have done so for many, many years and many generations of Mezetts. Why did they choose to be honest? By maintaining high standards for their business, employees, and products, the Mezetts and Weston Nurseries became a destination for gardeners throughout the local and regional area. I think that garden centers and gardeners throughout the country, and maybe even worldwide, consult with the Mezetts and their staff or written materials to learn how to run a good business, as well as learn about good products, methods of gardening, and good plants to buy. The Mezetts have high standards and do the right thing by being honest businessmen. This makes them feel good about themselves personally, and it means people trust and respect them. so they want to do business with them. The Messets business does well, and they feel good. It's a win-win. Bob, at JB Service in Hopkinton, across from the middle school, has been in business also for many years. As he said, choosing to be honest isn't making him rich, but he is rich in other ways. People trust him and know that if they take their car there, they will not only get good mechanical service, but they will also be charged a fair price without extra charges and extra work done that isn't needed. Bob has many return customers because they trust him to do the right thing for them and their car. Bob doesn't make a lot of money, as he said, but he has loyal and returning customers. That is what's valuable to Bob and what makes him feel good about himself and his business. He wouldn't do business any other way. That wouldn't feel right to Bob. He has chosen honesty as a way of living that is being true to himself. He gains self-respect and steady business. Thanks, Bob. Those 4 kids who are walking to school also gain a lot from being honest. They knew from their parents that honesty is the best policy, but they also knew that being honest means people will trust and respect you, and that means they will have friends. Friendship is valuable to them, and honesty is a way to gain friends. They are gainers too. Think about your friends over your life. If you have had friends lie to you or who have been dishonest in other ways, do you still like them as much? Are you still friends with them? Do they have your back in a tough situation? Can you turn to them for advice? I am guessing that you are saying no to these questions and that these so-called friends are not your closest friends, or you have chosen not to be friends with them anymore. You lose if you are dishonest. You gain if you are honest. Paul Kavanaugh explained to us why he is an honest lawyer. Lawyers uphold the law and support the laws in place in our country. Some of those laws can be interpreted, and judges can decide which lawyer is making the best case, but the lawyers are always held to the highest standard of honesty. If a lawyer or anyone else in court tells a lie in front of the judge, it is called perjury and is a crime. People who lie under oath, promising that they are telling the truth, are punished by having to pay lots of money or even go to jail for that lie when they promised that they were telling the truth. Honesty is valuable, but lying can cost you money, trust of your peers, and loss of friends. Honesty is the best policy. Piggy Wiggy and Ready Freddy saw a woman returning $1 to a store clerk who had given her extra change. They didn't understand why she would do that, since $1 could be used by the person who found it to buy things for themselves. But the woman who made the choice to be honest wasn't comfortable with getting an extra $1, and she knew the store clerks have to count out their drawer of money at the end of the night and show that the money in the drawer matches the money that they rung up on the register as being paid. If money is missing from the cash drawer, the clerk is responsible for that money, and the boss would suspect that the clerk took the missing money. The clerk then could lose their job, be in danger of losing their job if it happened again, or maybe even go to jail for theft. The woman returning the money meant that the clerk could have the right money in the drawer at the end of the night, thanks to her honesty. We have all heard stories of people finding a wallet and taking it to the nearest police department. Many of those honest people have gotten a reward in cash from the owners of the wallets because they knew that the person finding the wallet could have just kept the money. The finders were not comfortable keeping something that wasn't theirs. They knew that the person losing the wallet would want the money back, and the finders did the honest and right thing by turning the wallet and money in. They gained respect of the police, the person who lost the wallet, and they gained self-respect, which feels really good, by doing the right thing. They wouldn't have felt so good if they kept something which wasn't theirs. Piggy Wiggy and Ready Freddy learned something from the example of the woman who returned the extra $1 to the store. The dollar itself wasn't worth much, but the effort was work to the woman herself, who knew she did the right thing, to the clerk, who now would have the right amount of money in the drawer at the end of the shift, and to those onlookers or people who heard the situation happening. Even passing along a story like this has value, since the person who wasn't there can learn and benefit from the story and the lesson of good character in it. Everyone wins. My parents and I, and then my grandparents, taught me the value of choosing the hard right over the easy wrong, and that has been a guideline in my own life. It's easy to make wrong choices, but then hard to live with them. I would rather do my best to do the right thing and then feel good about that choice. Being honest feels much better than making a mistake and lying, taking or keeping something that doesn't belong to you, telling someone to pay for something that they don't need, charging too much for work or products, and other dishonest personal and business practices. The people and situations you have seen here all try to do the right thing and be honest. They have benefited from these choices. That's because character matters. Thank you to Peter and Wayne Mezet, Bob Coffin, Katie, Charlotte, Sam and Cooper, Paul Kavanaugh, and George Washington. Thanks to all of you for watching, and tune in next time to Character Matters. You never know who will show up.
From the outside, it looked like I had it all together. Great education, good job. But inside, I was massively insecure. Drinking helped me calm my fears, but I ended up losing everything. When I finally admitted I needed help, I came into Teen Challenge. And as time went on, I didn't feel so insecure. Now my whole world has been rebuilt, and I'm not going to lose it again.
This show often talks to people who have interesting hobbies or careers or different things that they have going on that affect our community.
I'm Mary Arnott, your host.
There is a huge need for providing food for individuals and family.
And that's the key. It's working well together.
You can see more episodes online at our website, hcam.tv.
Hi, I'm Tim Kilduff, and this is Business Matters. Talk a little bit about the history. I mean, you were born into something pretty special, weren't you?
Yeah.
The shop is a safe haven for a lot of people, young and old.
Business Matters is HCAM's show focusing not only on businesses in Hopkinton, but more importantly, the people who run and manage those businesses.
Just a minute, folks.
It's Dive-In Drive-In time, and we got a great Western for you today.
Dive-In Drive-In is a new program featuring the HCAM staff's favorite B-movies. We hope you'll enjoy these treasured films of yesteryear.
And even if we don't get paid, there ain't no job we trade. We're hauling freight and safe to stay along with Santa Fe.
So check out the HCAM TV website at hcam.tv for movie days and showtimes.
Hi, welcome to Great Gardens.
Just make sure that you water regularly and through November.
So I think we can go ahead and start backfilling here.
I think fall is one of the best times to plant roses.
When you can squeeze your soil and hold it together, that's good.
Welcome to Hopkinton Coffee Break.
A very special dessert done by a woman from Hopkinton that I've started using regularly.
We had your residents participating both as vendors and as shoppers, and that was so much fun. Real Hopkinton Housewives, if you're on Facebook, you will have a blast. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers, guys.
It's been a great.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you
See
too.
you guys.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Peralt, host of the program Meet Your Neighbor on HCAM TV.
Kids got so much on their plate, and they're traveling here and they're traveling there.
You know, they still need help from time to time.
My father always was outdoors. I mean, he grew up, he had pet baby squirrels.
This show introduces you to Hopkinton residents, the many interesting people who are our neighbors, and we invite them to share stories, experiences, insights, and observations from their lives.
I'm Dr. Bruce Carlin. Welcome to Physician Focus.
A caregiver's burden can take people by surprise and seem overwhelming.
More than 1 in 3 Americans are living with prediabetes.
Complicated grief can increase the risk of physical and mental illness, substance abuse, and suicide.
Healthy eating promotes good health and reduces the risk for chronic illness.
People will get arm pain. About 80 to 90% of people have arm pain after the HPV vaccines.
Welcome to the Senior View. And today we have some very special guests who do some very special work.
We've done a lot of charity quilts. We've done quilts for veterans. We've done quilts for the Serenity House.
So we try to figure out what are your goals, what's your time frame, what's your motivation for moving, what's the situation with the house.
I love to be beside her side, beside the sea.